let's jump into the 7 things to do if your e-commerce business is currently struggling. Number 1, diversify your marketing channels. We've talked about this a lot, but if you're focused where 80% of your sales are coming through one channel, then you're subject to whatever that channel does. And you need to get away from that. And now if that channel is declining, which like it's happening for a lot of people, Facebook is getting more expensive. Facebook may turn off your ad account. Amazon is getting more crowded. Amazon may shut down your account. There's a number of marketing channels that you might be privy to because you have 80% of your marketing or customers coming from them. You have to diversify that. So don't be addicted to your return on ad spend. Understand what an owned channel versus unowned channel is and get more out of your email program. Or if you don't have an email program, or if you're not getting 30% of your revenue through your email program, then you probably don't have an email program that's actually worth anything, and you really need to develop that. And we've created systems that you can actually use to leverage that, which we'll link to. That's the first one. The second one, start advertising versus just running ads. And this means advertising for real. You might be like, oh, I advertise, I market. Are you really doing that? Or are you just running ads on Facebook or sending emails or posting on social media, etc.? We need to think about the idea of how before digital advertising was there, people were making billions of dollars of sales using advertising principles. And that was typically making sure that someone could recall your brand when they thought about a problem. So it's advertising to them and communicating, developing your brand with customers so that when they need your thing, they think of you. And we can all remember the jingles that are still alive that were created in the 80s. And how many jingles for new companies can you remember? Probably not very many. So advertising for real is important if we're going to be a sustainable business. And this includes creating an emotional connection and a logical connection. So we want to make sure that we create an emotional relationship with somebody, and because emotion is what drives action, and not just tell them about features and benefits of our products. We want to be able to write great ads that do this and tell stories and sell emotion and also sell logic. You want to create an offer that is actually developed to be irresistible. And you have to focus on high-level metrics like ad spend ratio instead of focusing and relying just on attribution of marketing channels. And we talk deeper about all these things, which we will link to. That's number 2. Number 3, build a real brand. And so your brand is your only barrier, only competitive advantage that other people have to knocking off your business and to hurting your business. Also, really the only thing that you and your customer have relationally, and having a connection with your customer is critical to actually growing their lifetime value and actually having a business that is sustainable for the future. And so your brand is an asset. It is the only asset you have, right? Your IP, your patents, your trademarks, those things aren't really moats. And a moat is a brand. That's the best moat that you can have. And so develop that brand. There's a business case for doing it. If you create a great brand, you can leverage it to create sales at any time. And if you don't know how to create your brand, or you don't feel like you can connect with, if you're a leader and you're like, you don't have it and you don't know where it can come from, the way you get that is by centering on a purpose. What is the why behind everything that you do? And when you can center on that, and not just for the sake of feeling good, but for the sake of creating a great business, that's where your brand soul can develop. And we can link to how you do that practically from here as well. All right, number 4, get your margins in line. And so we've talked quite a bit about how in order to do great customer service and have a great warranty and to de-risk a sale and have an irresistible offer, all these kind of things, your margin has to be great. And if your margin's not great and you're doing those things, you're likely in an unhealthy place and your business is probably declining. You probably don't have profit. We live in an age where funded VC startups can sell things at a loss and claim high revenue and get more money, get more investment from that. That is not how business works. And we need to be aware that we're not, if we're building our business around that, that is a house of cards. We can't sell $100 bills for $50. Like, of course we can sell out of those, but we can't be doing those type of things because our business won't work. And so really where it starts with this margin, if you're going to create the irresistible offer, create the warranty, great customer service and all these kind of things. If you're going to do that, your margins have to support it. Maybe you have to increase your price. Maybe you have to grow your product line. Maybe you have to learn about the finances behind your business and your supply chain and wholesale and all these kind of things. But your margins are where it all starts. And we'll link to all those other places. All right, number 5, focus on lifetime value. The initial sale is typically not enough to support a business long-term. If you have one purchase customers, you really have a challenging e-commerce business. And a lot of business models are built around this idea of single purchases. And while that looks good on paper, you've hit a certain revenue number. If you don't have a system, an intentional system, a model that says, here's how we're going to take someone, bring them into our world, bring them into our ecosystem, and actually start to develop products and put those products in the customer's hands so they can purchase again, more and more, and keep them in our ecosystem. If we don't have that, then we don't have a business that is sustainable long-term, no matter what revenue number you're hitting. And so where profit and true value comes in business is having a very good lifetime value strategy. And so make sure, we can't go into all the details of it, but we'll link to it. But your product line is a key part of your lifetime value, right? Not having one product, but having a family of products, being able to sell additional products to people. Investing in R&D in order to create more products, your customer journey, how you take someone in and how you bring them and sell them more of the things that you offer because they need them and they're important to their life and they're important to the success and the result that person's trying to get. How do you do all those things? You have to design a lifetime value, and you have to actually focus on lifetime value as an initiative if you're going to be a healthy brand and you're not going to decline. Next, if you're in decline, number 6, you need to likely increase your conversion rate. If your conversion rate is great, then you're not bringing enough people to your site if you're declining, or your margins and product line strategy is not there. Your lifetime value side is not there, right? So there's only a few levers that can be pulled here, and conversion rate is one big one. So make sure your site gets all the selling done well. There are 9 steps that a customer has to go through in order to convert on your website, and we'll link to that from here. But it has to have a great design. It also has to have a great customer journey that takes them through those 9 steps. Your website has to be built in a way that is fast and scalable. Your platform has to support your business. Your platform being your store platform, that might be Shopify Plus, BigCommerce Enterprise, Magento, WooCommerce, etc. What the platform that you're on has to support your business. It has to not be overly expensive for what it does. It needs to be fast. It needs to be scalable. It needs to be very stable. Like, you shouldn't have to worry about it going down on Black Friday. And it should allow enough customization to accomplish your brand and your business the way you need it to be accomplished. But that doesn't mean unlimited customization. You also have to have a philosophy of conversion rate optimization. Optimize everything that you do, right? If you're optimizing everything that you do, if you have a culture and a philosophy of optimization, it's very hard for your business to be in decline unless there's just something that you just haven't foreseen. But if you have a culture of optimization, that's like insurance for your business. And so you should make sure you have that. We have links to all kinds of resources around that and paid programs as well. Go ahead and make data-driven decisions, right? Rather than going on gut, analyze the data, make sure that you're measuring the right things, make sure that you have a dashboard that tells you the metrics and the KPIs that are important to the success of your business, not vanity metrics, not just traffic or just sales. I mean, I see so many dashboards with sales, and that's great, but let's have profit on there. because that's what matters. So be making data-driven decisions about how customers are using your site. In order to do that, you need to know how to do that. You need to know what to measure, be measuring the right things, and how to interpret those metrics. And we help people do that. So if you have problems with doing that, we can help you there. We can also link to some resources that help there as well. Lastly, number 7, wholesale. Now, your wholesale channel is the sort of opposite side of your direct-to-consumer channel, right? It's B2B and everything else is B2C or direct-to-consumer. And so often in e-commerce, that wholesale channel may not be developed. If you're in a bigger, more mature brand, you may have a wholesale division, but the balance may not always be correct. And so e-commerce should always lead because you have the most control over it. However, developing a wholesale channel is key to having a healthy growth strategy and managing your risk as you go across and as you grow. And so wholesale is a great way to balance out your direct consumer. Make sure that you build a wholesale portal. You don't want to be dealing with spreadsheets and necessarily sales teams that you don't need and these kind of things to develop wholesale. You don't have to do that. You should build a wholesale portal, connect with small retailers to begin with, and allow them to purchase in bulk, in wholesale numbers through your wholesale portal and create a relationship with them that develops over time. There might be a temptation to go with big retailers to begin with, and my advice would be to avoid that. The big retailers might write big checks, but they also come with big risks and big concessions that you'll have to make, which actually ultimately can really hurt your business in the early stages. And so small retailers, and lots of them, is kind of the way to go in that. All right, so something to remember if your business is in decline, or if your business is doing good and you don't want it to go in decline. These 7 things are probably things you're not doing if it's declining, and you can start doing them right away. But the thing to remember is it's about profitable growth, not just fast growth. And for so long in e-commerce and marketing, the idea has been growth no matter what, fast growth, growth hacking, fads, trends, etc. And that leads to short-term wins and ultimately declining businesses, or businesses that decline in certain seasons or are not sustainable long-term no matter what is ahead. And so here at Medicake, we focus on healthy growth. And fast, unhealthy growth just leads to rising and falling and riding a roller coaster. If you want to succeed long-term, you need healthy, profitable growth, not just growth hacks, timeless business principles applied to e-commerce business and e-commerce marketing. So what can you do? If you'd like to go further, you can go ahead and join our Healthy E-commerce Growth Program. And it's a paid program where we walk you through all the steps to create healthy growth in your business within a 90-day action plan. And you can get that over at medicake.com/healthy-growth. Or you can work directly with us to implement healthy marketing principles and healthy growth principles in your e-commerce business. Or if your business is declining and you need some outside advisors and analysts to look at it, we can do that for you. If you're a brand of a certain size, 6, 7 figures, 8 figures or so. And so if you want to do that, go ahead and reach out to us, and we'd love to help. Thanks, and never stop growing.